From cheers of the fans to the crack of the bat, learn it all from Jimbo, Gabe, Mike, and Matt. Giving thoughts on all public teams, whether times are boom or if they are lean. Hero players that you should know, not only the good things, highs and the lows. Here it is, we're ready to go. Please enjoy the podcast. On with the show!
Hello, Pacific League fans, and welcome to the Pawcast, the unofficially official English language podcast of Pacific League TV. Jimbo Bernicki will be joining us remotely, so we're going to be editing in his portions after the fact. My name is Gabe Lerman, and his name is Mike Bealey. Mike, how you doing today?
Exciting to sit here and talk to you again. Week after week, like we always do, we're marching to the end of the season, which is exciting for some of us, and for some of us, it's a relief.
The sweet release of the postseason, yes. I was away in Europe for the last week and a half, so I missed out on what seems to be a little bit of a hot run by the Hawks. I know Jimbo's going to be talking about that. I got two top stories to lead things off before we get into our Around the Horn, though. Sanspo with an interesting development between NPB, the league office, and the Japanese Professional Baseball Players Association back on September 10th. The PA is asking for an increase in the players eligible for the active player draft by moving it to a criteria-based system instead of the team nominating, yeah, we put this player up. Failing that, they want to consider minor league free agency similar to MLB, where players who have 7 years of minor league service time can sign elsewhere. It would be a big way to shake up the development process and ensure that talent can move around and grow. I mean, you only have to look at the two players who have been plucked off the Hawks in the active player draft, Shun Mizutani and Kotaro Otake, and both of those have excelled in their new homes. I mean, the Hawks have, 3 development teams? They could definitely afford to give up some players.
And, for the 7 years of, minor league service, minor league free agency and everything, and the one player I'd like to, kind of point at would be Richard, who, they ended up sending to the Giants earlier in the year. He openly asked for a trade, last year. And, he obviously has potential and he has power, but the Hawks, being a team, can't really, play him at the top level to let him find and give him consistent playing time. But, with that minor league free agency, if that were to become a thing, that would open up a lot of doors for players, like Richard, because I don't have the exact numbers for me in front of me with how he's been, in other league, but when I see footage of it, it does look like he's just like a lot happier just knowing that he's a all everyday player, or at least an everyday bench player at a top level on another team. Who knows what kind of players would get, what kind of chances players would get, in minor league free agency. Maybe they're on that Hawks, farm system for 7 years, and the Hawks are just like, we just don't have room for you. But then who's to say they can't go to somewhere in other league where suddenly they're in the rotation or they're a bullpen piece, all these opportunities that they've never would have had before.
True. Like, I'm taking a look at last year's draft. I forgot Kengo Yoshida went from the Hawks to the Fighters. Yoshida's got a couple of walk-off hits already this season. So again, Hawks keep getting pecked over. And one smaller top story, tip of the cap to the Pacific League TV merchandise team. They are going to be selling towels, keychains, and stickers of video thumbnails from their Japanese YouTube channel. I think that's a nice touch. They've really been doing well with merchandising PLTV. I still got to get one of those katakana hats. I keep asking for one, and I keep hearing they're sold out.
You know what? That YouTube thumbnail thing, that just screams gotcha machine all over it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a gotcha thing for sure.
And now it's time for the main portion of the show where we do our Around the Horn segment, where we take a look at all the teams from top to bottom in the league. And we are starting off, as always, with the league-leading, almost pennant-winning, we are so gosh darn close, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. 7-3 in their last 2 weeks, including a bunch of days off, and they've been tearing it up in September, though granted, to be completely honest, while I am recording this a few days after the other guys, they have had a couple not so great days, losing out to the series to the Oryx Buffaloes, but worse things have happened. I am still very happy with where the team is sitting right now, because as of recording, their magic number is 7, and they are guaranteed to make the postseason for the 4th straight season in a row. Congrats and bonsai to Hawk starter Naoki Uesawa for reaching 1,000 career strikeouts. He has been having a very good season, as have so many of the Hawks. That's why they are the league leaders. And also, don't look now, but Mr. Roberto Osuna is coming back into form. He's been practicing on the farm, and maybe he can be part of the team for a bit of a playoff run. But that being said, I mean, I'm not really missing him that much, if I'm being super honest, because Kazuki Sugiyama has been electric with the second most saves in the PL, only behind Kaimataro with the Lions, who obviously I've been following too. So I'm feeling pretty good about the Hawks now. The fact that they keep losing to the Buffaloes, not super inspiring, and also the Fighters are scary. It's, I find myself in a weird place where last season I thought they were destined to go all the way. I really felt it in my bones that they were going to win the Japan series, and they didn't. This year, I don't have the same conviction. I think they're good. I think they're I don't want to say they're definitely going to win the pennant. They're going to win the pennant. That's a given. I just cursed myself. But I imagine they'll win the Pacific League after beating the Fighters, if I had to pick. But the Fighters scare me. I don't know. But see, maybe my lack of confidence means they will win it this season. That's my inverted logic proposal for how this is going to go. But I am coming to you from future Ghost Time, and I will now kick it back over to the second place team, the aforementioned team that I am very, very afraid of, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
Sitting in second are the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, 3.5 back, but running out of games to play. There's only 11 left in the regular season for them. I mean, they've clinched a playoff spot and home field advantage in the first round. Now they just have to see if they're going to be skipping it altogether by winning that pennant. It's going to be right down to the wire, and I'm on tenterhooks. The Fighters are 6-5 in their last 11, most recently taking 3 of 4 from the Lions at home. And Franmil Reyes continues to love playing in Japan and delivering the boom. 31 home runs on the season, most recent on the 15th. The first fighter to slug 30 or more since Sho Nakata did in 2020. And Sho is retiring on Friday with the Dragons. The Franimal also leads the league in RBI and sits 5th in batting average. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's no triple crown, but heck, he's done fantastically. And right fielder phenom Chusei Manami's gotten to 20 home runs for the first time in 2 years, really forming a dynamic duo with Reyes. Between those two, a lot of balls flying out of Escon Field, Hokkaido. A lot of things to worry about for whoever finishes third.
So I actually completely forgot that Sho Nakata was over with the Dragons. Looking back at his Wikipedia page right now, he just seems like he's just been doing those end of career side quests where it's just like, oh, where has he been? He's doing what now? And it's really weird because he was part of the modern day, on canon with Otani when Otani was with the Fighters, and now he's retiring. That's just kind of crazy to me.
There's some equally crazy old or player age stuff coming up in the Buffalo section, trust me. The team currently sitting in third are the Oryx Buffaloes. 2.5 games ahead of the Eagles with 2 more games played. They are not out of the woods yet. The Eagles might catch them, especially because the Buffaloes are 5-7 in the last 2 weeks. They still haven't beaten the Hawks at Mizuho Pain Dome. They've got 4 more chances this weekend coming up. Heck, they've lost 8 straight to the Hawks regardless of ballpark. Talk about a team built specifically to frustrate another team. 2023 Rookie of the Year Shunpeita Yamashita is back and healthy. 5 innings of 2-run ball with 11 strikeouts against the Fighters on September 7th. Good to see he's back and pitching well. Now just finish the season strong, and maybe he's in a bullpen arm, just coming out of the pen with hate and venom on both of his shoulders. Also, shout out to infielder Masahiro Nishino, who's been on a mini burner in September. 3 home runs and 11 RBI in 9 games. Former Oryx Buffalo Takahito Okada was doing commentary for the Buffaloes last series and sung his praise in particular. Outfielder Ryoma Nishikawa has now qualified for the batting title, which means his .310 batting average leads everyone else. No one else is above 300. Poor Itsuki Murabayashi and Tatsuru Yanagimachi have cooled off a little bit. Rounding out the news, he's coming back for one more season. Reliever and closer Yoshihisa Hirano. The Buffaloes announced he's renewed his contract for 2026, which will make it his 21st year pitching in both NPB and MLB. Hirano, at age 41, is only 3 years younger than his manager, Mamoru Kishida, who was drafted in the same year. He's already punched his ticket to the Golden Players Club by racking up 250 NPB saves. He's got an outside shot at becoming a true Japanese Baseball Hall of Famer and a valuable veteran presence against a gaggle of arms in that Orcs bullpen who could use some calming down every once in a while.
It's kind of crazy. It might just be me, but like if you tell me a guy's been playing for 21 years, my brain immediately just goes to, oh, so he played in the 90s? He played in the 80s? That's kind of crazy. And then I realize, oh no. No, 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 not at all.
Yeah, that's when you fade to grayscale and go, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Sepia tone.
Yes, or you just go Saitama from One Piece Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Doing okay and arguably better, the fourth place Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Mike, take it away.
All right, so for the Eagles, 4.5 ahead of the Lions. Have to think the season's been a success, even if they can't get into third place. The coveted A class, 6-3 in their last 9 games. The Eagles will be collaborating with their Taiwanese counterparts, the Rakuten Monkeys, and the KT Wiz of the KBO at the Asia Professional Baseball Exchange in Taoyuan from November 7th to the 9th. Exciting to see what they'll learn. And as for the KT Wiz, I have a friend that was he's a big fan of them, and they actually put out like a like an alert for him because they were hunting him down because he was their first foreign fan, and that's just a fact I'll never stop being funny. They would put up a big thing on the Jumbotron. Have you seen this man? But moving on from that to speaking of Taiwan, the Taiwanese Titan Sung Chihao got his first winning decision in almost 2 years. He only rejoined the team from knee surgery at the end of August. That explains how the team was able to have Patton, Voigt, Franco, and Gonzalez on the roster all at the same time. And outfielder Yuya Ogo walked off the Marines, Joey, with a 10th inning home run on September 15th. It's the 2000th home run in club history. Almost said career history. That would have been kind of fun. The winner in that game was Masahiro Ihara, a draft pick from last offseason. It's his first winning decision. And shortstop Rui Muniyama got to 100 hits in his rookie season. Last Eagle to do it was his middle infield counterpart, Hiroto Kobukata. And continuing the saga of the Eagles having some of the best promotions in the league, they've got a retro series of photographs coming out earlier this week, including Rui Muniyama in what can best be called a thirst trap. Let me click on that link and see what is going on here.
Yeah, they're promoting
the
it
hell
as
is that?
they're
Oh, God.
promoting
Oh,
it.
he's a Showa idol. Oh, I
Yeah,
get it.
they're promoting it as Showa and Heisei era throwbacks.
Oh God, I there's an arcade in Tokyo that's all Showa themed. I can't remember for the life of me remember what it's called, but I swear to God, I have seen this poster hanging up in the rafters over there.
I'm also impressed that they're doing some retro bento boxes as well, just to completely seal the deal. And yeah, between this, the beef tongue towels, Eagles are on a roll lately with the merch game.
Well, that's fun. Jesus, I wish I wasn't going over there after the season was over.
The team most likely to finish in fifth, at least guaranteed to finish out of the basement, the Saitama Seibu Lions. Jimbo, what do you have for us for them?
Alrighty, and yeah, that brings us over to the Saitama Seibu Lions, guaranteed to finish not at the bottom this year. Fantastic news for how bad the last season went, but you know it's been a cool season. It's been a fun season of a lot of production, a lot of great performances by the pitchers and some of the hitters. I'm optimistic. I'm not feeling so bad. Not nearly as bad as last year, that's for sure. But 3-6 in the last 9 games at the time of the initial script writing, but they did just pick up a series win over the Eagles, so I believe that brings them to 5-7. Not so bad. And a little bit of congrats and bonsai to outfielder Manaya Nishikawa, a outfielding wizard, one of the best fielders in the Pacific League this year, for getting to double-digit home runs for the first time in his pro career. Hopefully he can keep that up next year and maybe start developing some more power. I mean, if he can add more batting to his repertoire, he will be one of the best players in the Pacific League with how just absolutely phenomenal. His defense is a lot of hopefully, big bright future ahead for him. And speaking of bright futures, Mr. Seiya Watanabe is also in double-digit home runs. He's the seventh rookie in club history to do that, and the first in 22 years to hit that mark. So again, things look really good for the Lions. They got great pitching, but we hope we don't lose to the MLB or injuries or baseball being baseball and people being bad suddenly. A lot of young outfielders who are playing well. Maybe they make the playoffs next year. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. But you never know. And yeah, I will kick it back over to Gabe to wrap up the show.
And finally, the team currently occupying the basement, the Chiba Lotte Marines. Poor Mike. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe if I play my cards right, they'll give me a finished basement to be in for next year instead of the crawl space I'm currently in. But they are 5-8 in their last 2 weeks. And Austin Voth, 8 consecutive losing decisions, the longest such streak by a foreign pitcher in club history. And you can't help but feel bad for Austin Voth because I don't have every, thing in front of me, right now. But it's like every time I see him pitch, it's like it'll give up like a ground ball. And it's like I look at it and it's just like that should have been an out. It's like that's not hard hit. It didn't hit hot. It's not a chopper. That should have been an out. And then everything just like the next hit's like another thing that should have been an out. And it's just like feel bad for the guy. I kind of think if I had to put my semi unprofessional opinion on, I do think he'll be back in Japan again next year. I just think he'll probably be maybe with a different team or something like that. But don't want to speculate about free agency and whatnot. But speaking of teams, Manabu Mima announced he'll be hanging up the cleats at the end of the season. The 2013 Japan Series MVP has made 266 starts, winning 80 of them with 1,041 strikeouts and a 3.94 ERA. Guess we'll probably see him on the PLTV Monday show to reunite with Gabe's homeboy, Ginji, hopefully
Darn
soon.
right, Ginji is my homeboy. Mima, of course, was drafted by the Eagles and played the first, I think, decade of his career with them. He signed with the Marines as a free agent, effectively making a quasi trade because Daichi Suzuki went back the other way as a free agent. And it was good to see him provide some veteran presence to guys like Atsuki Taneichi, Roki Sasaki, and more youngsters on that Marine squad.
Yeah, and I always kind of I don't want to say confuse him, but Hideaki Wakui kind of had a similar career. He won a Japan Series, I believe it was a Japan Series MVP with the Lions. I could be wrong on that. And then, went to the Marines in free agency and then just kind of quietly ended his career shortly after, though Wakui did go on to other teams after
Yeah, I
that.
was going to say he's still pitching
Oh,
for
he's
the
still pitching?
Dragons.
Wait, is he actively pitching for the Dragons, like on the top team? Huh.
Last I saw, yeah.
Good God, I swear to God he thought he retired. Okay, redact everything. Get up
Well, I mean that's how the Eagles got Toshiki Abe
I
in
can
a
see the foul
trade.
balls in my head. I'm visualizing the foul balls.
Yeah, so Wakui won Japan Series, but he won the Climax Series MVP in
Oh, okay.
2008 with the
Okay.
Lions.
But one bright spot for the Marines as we move past reminiscing, outfielder Michio Nishikawa is the first Marine rookie in 7 seasons to get 100 or more hits in his first season, and only the 10th in club history to do so.
There's a few rookies who are hitting that 100 hit mark. Nishikawa, Munayama. It's nice to see that the current crop is developing nicely.
For sure.
Shout out former fighter Kenshi Sugiya seeing some playtime with the Savannah Bananas last week. I know Banana Ball can be divisive, but it's good to see that they're expanding their player pool beyond North America. Munenori Kawasaki shows up when. We're going to wrap up today's show with our question of the week. Michael's going to take this one.
So our question to you, the listener, is who's going to be getting up early with us on Saturday, the 27th, for our baseball for breakfast broadcast? What teams are we playing, Gabe? What teams are we broadcasting?
The teams we will be broadcasting are the Chiba Lotte Marines hosting the Hokkaido Nipponham Fighters at Zozo Marine Stadium. It's going to be an evening start in Japan, so we're going to be up ridiculously early. I don't normally do the 5 a.m. starts. That's usually Jimbo's bag, but I'm happy to step up to the plate and give it one last shot, especially because it's the final weekend of the season. And on a Saturday, the hope is we'll get more eyeballs than if we did it on a Sunday or middle of the week. That brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube-y stuff. We'll see you next week, and, as we mentioned, on the 27th. Take care, everyone.